India loses more people to road accidents every year than some countries lose in wars. They say it is not the roads that kill people, it is the people who use them. But in India, the roads, the people, and the system all play a part. But what makes them so deadly? Let's start from driving. Driving education in India is very rare. Let's be honest. How many of you have learned to drive a bike from a driving school? Or at least, how many of you have seen someone learning to drive from a driving school? You see, India has 260 million two-wheelers, but most people learn to drive from a family member, a friend, a relative, or maybe a neighbor. This kind of informal training often skips the crucial things like traffic rules, road safety, or how to handle emergencies. And what about the person who is teaching? They likely learn the same way, so the bad habits just keep getting passed down without being corrected like in a formal training. While the number of vehicles on our road keeps skyrocketing, but the focus on teaching how to people drive safely hasn't kept up at all. Many drivers who are driving from several years don't know even the basics of safe driving. I repeat, not driving, safe driving. But what's the difference, you ask? Anyone who is controlling and steering the movement of a vehicle is a driver. But a safe driver is the one who is paying attention to certain things and rules that can keep himself and others safe. For example, many drivers who drive regularly are unaware of these concepts like right of way, 2-second rule to maintain a safe distance, avoiding tailgating, defensive driving, checking the blind spots, using indicators, sticking to your lane. These are the practices we should follow, but people rarely follow because they are never taught. Merging onto highways, approaching intersections, or navigating junctions safely are also the things many drivers simply don't understand because no one has never taught them in the first place. India has 1.42 billion people, but only 19,394 driving school exists. Compare that to US, which has over 23,000 driving schools for a population of just 300 million. And the schools we do have just barely scratch the surface. What they teach is just enough for someone to get behind the wheels, and that's it. Even among the driving schools that exist, most are focused on making a quick money. Many trainers aren't even certified and rush through a lessons just to declare someone ready to drive. There is little focus on the traffic rules or safety practices and no effort to ensure drivers are truly prepared for the roads. And to make things even worse, even the license system adds to the problem. In many cases, you don't even need driving skills to get a license. There are several people who got their 2+4 license without even touching a car or a bike and without even an exam because bribes are so common. In fact, in some parts of the India, they are the norm and it is the only way to get the license. And some of the RTO offices don't even have a proper road tracks for testing, and when the tests do happen, they are often basic and far from realistic. A quick drive around a small track is enough to pass, and the examiner rarely checks how you can handle the real traffic conditions. Untrained drivers, unregulated schools, and a flawed license system is a perfect recipe to create chaos on the roads. But bear with me, because it's just a beginning. Driver education and road infrastructure are two sides of the same coin. They need to work together. You can't teach someone to drive safely if the roads themselves are inherently unsafe to use. In India, this balance is completely out of sync. Take road lanes for example. In some areas, you will find beautifully marked lanes with reflectors and proper lighting, but just a few minutes away, you are met with a pothole-ridden roads, chaotic intersections, and a complete absence of signage. This inconsistency sends a confusing messaging to the drivers like, why should they respect lanes when the lanes themselves don't exist anywhere? Then there is an issue of speed breakers. Many of these are unscientifically designed and poorly placed, appearing without any warning, especially on dark, unlit stretches. These speed bumps, rather than improving the safety, they have caused countless accidents over the years. Drivers can only be trained to an extent, but no amount of caution can prepare them a speed bump appearing suddenly out of nowhere. The same goes for speed limits. On highways where there are roads are smooth and open, speed limits are set to as low as 40 or 50 in some stretches. These impractical restrictions often encourage overspeeding because drivers find them too unreasonable to follow. Without automated radars or proper enforcement, the rules exist only on paper. Let's not forget the sheer diversity of vehicles sharing our roads. Unlike developed countries, where roads are predominantly shared by limited number of vehicle types, Indian roads are a battlefield of cars, buses, bikes, scooters, auto rickshaws, trucks, and even animals or cycle rickshaws in some places. Each type of vehicle comes with its own braking and acceleration capabilities, making it nearly impossible to establish uniform rules for everyone. This chaos is compounded by lack of uniform road widths. A 3-lane road can suddenly narrow down to 2-lane, causing bottlenecks and traffic jams that frustrate drivers into making their own lanes. What you get is a free lane for all, and with drivers creating 5, 6 or even 7 unofficial lanes on a road that is designed for 3. It is clear that without proper road infrastructure, the best driver education programs in the world would still fail to make a difference. But there is another piece of the puzzle we need to address. The role of commercial vehicles like autos, trucks, and buses, whose impact on road safety cannot be overlooked. When it comes to road safety, commercial vehicles like autos, trucks, buses play a significant role in creating chaos on Indian roads. Take auto rickshaws for instance. In India, these iconic three-wheelers are lifeline for millions of commuters and livelihood for several auto drivers. But the problem is, they often prioritize the profits over safety for a few bucks. They stop abruptly in the middle of a road when they see a potential passenger even from far. And they take sudden U-turns out of nowhere. And they go in opposite lanes, not obeying right of way, and pack in many more passengers than they are legally permitted. All this to maximize their earnings. This reckless behavior disrupts the flow of traffic, increases the risk of accidents, puts passengers and auto drivers' lives in danger. And not to mention, most of them never had a formal training in driving, and several doesn't even hold a driving license. Heavy vehicles like lorries and trucks pose another grave concern. Most of the drivers lack formal training, having learned on their own or from unequally trained peers. To make things more worse, most of the time these vehicles are overloaded, which makes managing these massive vehicles incredibly dangerous. And owners in their race for profits impose unrealistic delivery deadlines to the drivers. Drivers are often forced to stay awake for long hours, sometimes using stimulants or even alcohol, and speeds through roads with heavy loads. Fatigue, overloading, and unregulated driving practices turn these trucks into moving hazards on our highways. Even if you have the world's safest car like XC90, these vehicles can crush you with their heavy loads. The recent Bangalore incident is a perfect example of this. Despite having the safest car and driving properly, but when a container truck lost its control and toppled on the roof of their Volvo XC90, crushing all 6 family members. What can be more tragic for a person to lose 6 people in a family in the blink of an eye, and that too without their fault? But buses in India have their own role in traffic woes. A major issue is the lack of dedicated bus bays. In most Indian cities, buses stop right on the main road without any deviation, creating bottlenecks. Vehicles behind are forced to either wait or dangerously overtake by cutting into other lanes, leading to gridlocks. It is a vicious cycle that repeats daily, making even the shortest commutes a nightmare. Even though bus drivers are trained by the government, they don't follow any safety rules. they continuously try to overtake without respecting lanes. Look at this video, how a bus driver overtakes a car. The road has double yellow lines, and a double yellow marking means that you cannot cross the line no matter whatever the scenario is. But here, he just crosses it just to overtake a car, and he collides with another car which is perfectly coming in its lane, and he rams into the church wall. If a trained driver drives like this, it makes us question, is he really trained? Indian road safety crisis isn't just about poorly designed roads or reckless driving. It is more about the system that prioritizes temporary fixes over sustainable solution. It is also about the public awareness and strict enforcement of traffic laws. They are the pillars of the road safety, but in India, both are painfully inadequate. A majority of motorists lack even the most basic knowledge of traffic rules, often treating red lights, seat belts, helmets as optionals. Enforcement agencies, on the other hand, struggle with understaffing and taking bribes, leaving the violators unpunished. Consider this. How often do you see a traffic police enforcing lane discipline or cracking down on reckless driving? Instead, the focus is often on collecting fines and making enforcement systems seem like a revenue generation rather than a safety measure. For an effective change, enforcement must be about education and deterrence, not just penalties. But is it possible to transform this scenario? Let's look at this real success story. The 371-kilometer road network leading to Sabarimala in Kerala carries 40 million pilgrims in 8 million vehicles every pilgrimage season. In 2009 to 10, this stretch was infamous for over 230 crashes, up to 6 deaths, and thousands of vehicle breakdown every season. In response, Kerala launched the Sabarimala Safe Zone project, combining smart engineering and rigorous enforcement. Measures included clear signboards, blinker lights, and mirrors to improve visibility. They deployed 24/7 patrol squads and emergency medical teams, ensuring rapid response to the accidents. Additionally, partnering with 35 automobile companies, created mobile repair teams, recovery vans, fuel supply units to assist stranded vehicles. And the result? By 2013 to 2014, the fatalities dropped to zero. Despite some accidents, over the years, the project has sustained their success, improving the targeted interventions by proving that targeted interventions can save life. This story highlights the potential of proactive enforcement and the public engagement. Imagine if similar efforts were scaled across India, how many lives could we save? In 1997, Swedish Parliament adopted Vision Zero. A core principle of the vision is that life and health can never be exchanged for other benefits within the society. Vision Zero doesn't mean zero accidents, because human errors can happen, but they instead focused on, even if a crash happens, no person should die or have a major injury. Vision Zero simply means zero lives lost, no serious injuries. And they do this by providing excellent road conditions, having strict speed limits, and by creating public awareness. Imagine if our buses had proper bays, if drivers were given fair working conditions and training, and if auto rickshaw drivers followed strict regulations and motorists have the knowledge about traffic rules and safe driving, then wouldn't it be transformative? Awareness and enforcement are two sides of the same coin. Together, they can create a culture of accountability, where drivers think twice before breaking the rules, not out of fear of punishment, but out of sense of responsibility. But the main question is, are we ready to take that step? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you are interested in chess, check out this video on how India rose to a global chess superpower.